Okay. I've got to put my glasses on so I can read. Okay, you ready now? Okay. I'm calling this workshop meeting to order on November 1st, 2021. Its purpose is for the reviewing the 2022 tentative highway expense budget. Please rise, we pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, please be seated. Now, before we get into the highway budget, there's a policy, not a policy, but how do we want to proceed? Unfortunately, in my haste of trying to get everything done very quickly, I used too big a number for the using of unexpended balances to balance the budget. And that has been rectified, and it causes significant increases. So we'll go through them. I'm just going to pass these sheets out.
Give one to him.
Yeah, just put it over there for me. And we'll do a quick analysis and determine how we want to go. And then we can hit the other one, get into the highway budget once we determine how we want to go. The sheet that we have on the top that says 2022, which is the summary sheet, okay? Just pointing out the bottom where we have tax rate, it's 264, which is a 19.5% increase from the 221 from prior year. Now, that had $275,996 of unexpended balance used in that year. The surplus available from the actual supervisor's report, okay, which is a different way of calculating it, okay, but this is the traditional way, was I had $875,996 available. I had put in $275,996 as used surplus, so it gave me $600,000 for January, February, and March. That's typically the number I aim for, okay? Now, last year, which is the next sheet, you got both of them, that was a 1.3% increase to $2.21. The surplus total was $1,155,311. Used $567,200 for surplus, used for surplus to balance the budget, and that left me with $588 and $111 for the first 3 months' bills. So if you look at the difference between them, basically, I'm $400 off on using surplus. So surplus was making up the increases that we had in the bills for this year. So now I'm just saying, so that's what we got. We can pound through trying to take numbers down or whatever. I just uncovered this within an hour or so ago as I was going through verifying that all the numbers are good, you know, all the math was good and everything else. So essentially, I got 400,000 that we got to figure out. We either use more surplus, and I wanted that to be a decision made by the board. Whether we can or cannot, that's my buddy's input here. Or do we have to take $400,000 out of the budget? Now, I did verify that the things like the ARPA, we're getting money, $240,000, that number was included as revenue, so that should be a wash. The D.D. Barrett is a wash. The Community Development Block Grant is a wash. I verified that, but that made those numbers go up bigger here, both in the revenue and in the expense line, because
Yeah,
they,
because they offset each other.
yeah, but they offset each other, but we still needed the 400,000, and at this point, I want some guidance as to how you would like to proceed, and do you agree with the numbers I put in here? Don't worry about whether they're in highway or general fund. We can move the money from one account to the other, so that's not a big deal. So, any discussion does anybody have?
So I'm not totally following you, but my understanding is what you're saying is that we need to still find $400,000 more?
Yeah. And it came out to be that last year, we had a lot of surplus, which allowed us to offset a lot of expenses, as you can see. This year, we don't have that much surplus. We're down about 400,000 on surplus. So,
Yeah, I mean, going by these numbers, we would end up with about 600,000 left in surplus at
Right.
the end of the year. That would be at the high limit of our fund balance policy.
okay.
Like, that would take us, I'm not sure exactly what the number is, but it would be right at the high limit of it. But you say you need that money to make it through those
That's
months.
generally what I've been always using in all my budget calculations. Now, we could go down 50,000 or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a sacred number, but you can't go down to 10,000. Now,
Oh, God, no.
prior administrations on leaving office when I came back, they did go down to zero, or practically zero on those numbers. But, that was their parting gift to me.
Yeah.
But that's not the way I operate. So, we can pick a number, we can move on, but we got to have some guidance as to which way we're going to go.
So if we're looking for another 400,000, then that would mean that we wouldn't have 600,000 for the bills, and we'd need a TAN.
Yeah, well, we could use a 10, or we could do the bills, we can go down 50,000 or some number like that, or some, maybe.
Also, the,
But that's, looking at the policy here is the other
Yeah.
part of the thing.
well, sure.
And, the policy thing to me is a little awkward to try to understand exactly
Well,
what
sure,
we
so-
can do.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to say it. The numbers that we came up with on that letter from last year, that was based on last year's 2020's AUD and the amount
Yeah.
of surplus we had at the end of 2020.
Yeah, well, that's what these surplus numbers are. They're
Okay.
for the prior, they're actually beginning year surplus.
Yes, okay, so we had, at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
what was it, about $108,000 more in surplus than we should have had, based on the policy.
Well, I mean, which year are we talking?
So
about?
at the end of 2020, when we had 704, we should have only been at about 594, so there was 108,000 that we were over.
Okay,
Since we haven't done the AUD for this year yet, I don't
No.
really know exactly what that number will be, but if you look at, where is it, tentative expenses for this year, is what, this number?
yeah. Well, that's just the general fund on top,
Yeah.
and then it's the highway in the middle. There's a total down here.
Yeah. I'd say you like a benchmark of 600,000, I would say we wouldn't want to go below 500,000, so,
Okay,
I mean, 500 puts us right around in the middle
Yeah,
of what the
okay.
fund balance policy
So we
says.
can do that. I mean,
And that gets us partway there.
yeah. But, we had to decide how we're going before I start
You need an
hacking.
update here?
A little bit, I apologize, it's been a rough day today.
Get out of the tub.
No, I just had a,
If we don't want to increase the budget by 19.5, or the tax rate by 19.5%, we need to kind of figure out how to bring the 494,000 that we're over the cap down significantly. 600,000 is what we think with this budget, we would end up in surplus.
Yep.
We think with the fund balance policy, I would say we could go down to probably 500,000, so that gets us 100,000 of that.
So taking 100,000 from the,
Yeah.
And I could do that. I mean, I just wanted everybody to understand
Yeah.
and go get along with this, because this is all new stuff, this letter that you wrote.
That would be my, I mean, you know,
Okay,
we're
so-
a board of 5, but
Yeah.
that's my recommendation.
So then we're down, instead of, what the heck's the number here?
I thought
22, here it is.
I know.
Instead of
we were,
495.
You thought we were under.
yeah, I thought we were under on this whole thing. That's what I'm trying to get my head around.
Well,
What ended up happening here?
I misused the unexpended balance numbers when I went back and verified actually what the records said we had. I used last year's and they didn't work. They were too big. Because we didn't have that much
So
money.
the increase is 19.5% then?
Yeah,
Till we start making changes tonight.
Wow.
so we can, you know, so the one decision is we take 100,000 out of surplus, okay? Fine. You do that, no problem.
And we still gotta figure out another 300 something thousand.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I mean, the numbers looked, when I was going over this and I picked it up yesterday morning, I was like, oh, okay, but, no.
Well, you know, for example, the highway didn't change much, okay? They went up, oops, let's see which one. Oops, that's the general fund. They went up from 2,077,000 to 2,119,000. So they went up around 40,000 roughly. Okay, so that's not a big hit. I mean, it's.
Our
That's a
big thing
hit.
is in the general fund,
And the
obviously.
general fund is where the numbers went up. And some of those numbers that went up there were, you know, the APA, ARPA. The DD Barrett number went in there. And the Community Development Block Grant number went in, and that's roughly 400,000. When you add them all together.
So,
And they should have been offset in the revenue
Right.
because that went up.
That's what I had a question
Yeah,
about.
they were all offset.
Right.
Yeah, I've been pondering it and trying to figure out where did the numbers come from? And, you know, you get 20,000 here, you get 5,000 there, you get minus 2,000 here. I mean, there's no big glaring thing that pops up.
Just everything combined.
Yeah. I mean, here's several things that have happened. All the wage increases, okay, go up. But that also increases your Social Security, Medicare
Yep,
payment.
that's correct.
So that goes up like 30, 40,000 when you put both of them together.
Yeah.
And then the medical went up about 40, 70,000 in that ballpark. So, you know, these are fixed things.
so our biggest issue with this increase is mostly in the general fund.
Yeah, that's where it seems to be.
Right.
But, you know, it's got to be offset by the unexpected balance. So, you know, I could take and put up on the top there, instead of making it 175, make it
275,
275 and 99, whatever the number is.
996, yeah.
Yeah, 996. So that takes care of part of the problem. So you know, we can go through the highway next, but I just want everybody to understand where we are. And I'm not putting the highway on notice that they gotta, you know, give us 200,000 or anything. I'm just saying,
We're gonna have a heck of a workshop on Friday, is what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
but, you know,
I don't want you to
I don't know how you can, what you want to do, but, so, we ready then to go into, let's try to find this damn thing. I brought so many sheets of paper here. I don't- put them all together here someplace. Here's their budget input that he gave me. Where is it? It is oh, here it is. I have so many versions of this stuff. Go crazy. Okay, that's out. So this is the 2022 detailed highway expenses. Let's go just quickly to the general fund piece, which is not big, but I just want to make sure anybody had any questions or so we could just get rid of that. It's only about 6 lines. Okay, page 8.
Yeah.
Page 8, in the middle it starts. I mean, salaries are what we all talked about before, so there's no change there. And the rest of it is about the same number with all training. You know, one trip to Cornell is roughly $1,000. The rest of it's just peanuts.
Just what's that line, economic assistance? What is that?
Oh, that's Dutchess County Community Action Agency. They provide services throughout the county to all kinds of people in need. And it's predicated, everybody is given an allocation based on their population. Say it's $2 a head or $15, I don't know the
Right,
exact
I didn't get
math.
what that was, so.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what that's about. So, you know, there's nothing exciting there, but I just wanted to bring it up. Then it starts in earnest.
Now, when we get to the general fund meeting, that's when we're gonna hone in more on all of the recommendations for salaries, correct?
Yeah.
If you want to change anything, yeah.
Well, right now, I don't think it makes sense.
No, I'm just saying.
Till we look at the whole thing, I don't think it
Yeah,
makes sense to
well,
start
I
changing
was
bits
just
and
getting
pieces.
to the whole thing with this overview that I just gave you, is where I am right now.
Okay,
17, right?
17 is where it starts, and these are numbers that were given to me predicated on the contract. So, I didn't make them up.
No, these are fixed.
Yeah. Just trying to get to the sheet here from, this is the sheet that, here you can see if you want to just take a
When you-
peek as we go through it. This is, the red is what I put in based on what they gave us,
Yeah.
so.
I have a question on 18. The supervisor OT, who is that? Is that Bruce? Is that Todd?
Bruce,
Bruce.
Bruce, okay. Because I,
I didn't put the name
because Todd
there.
is salary, I wouldn't think it would be him,
It's in the previous page if you look.
but it says supervisor, it doesn't say.
Yeah. Working supervisor, Bruce.
Well,
We left the word working, I can add the
right,
word
okay,
working there.
that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, we'll add the word working. Okay. So all of those numbers come right out of basically the contract. And then, you know, Kyle is part-time one way and part-time another way, so, which is what we did before. And then we go down on page 19, these are all the itty-bitty items. Unfortunately, some of the stuff went up. All the petroleum-based products went up. Here you can see the
Yeah, I
changes
can,
right here.
yeah, I'm looking at it.
On the gas and diesel, you got 3,800, supposed to be
I know, I got that straight. You're late. We figured that one out a while.
Yeah,
And then also crew for gear, it's 9. It's not 8, there's 9 in the crew now.
Oh, you got 9 now? Okay, so that adds another $300.
now, we are getting the DD grant, that's been approved,
The what?
the grant from DD for the radios.
I didn't put that in here at all, because we don't have any paperwork to
No,
support it.
but that line,
For the leasing of the towers.
the leasing of the
That's-
towers pertains to that,
It
correct?
pertains to that, but we had that number, but we don't have a
The
number
D-
for anything.
Well, let's
else.
be clear about it, though. The DD grant does not pay for a lease. The DD grant pays for all of the equipment.
I
But if we
understand,
don't get the equipment, then we don't need the lease.
Then we won't need the lease. That's correct, yeah.
understand, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to understand.
I just
That-
put it there
if
so
that's
we
an
didn't
added
lose it.
thing, but I assume that that's what it was, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because if DD gave us the money for the radios, it would be an income and expense and it'd be a wash.
Well, the same with the grants we get for the
Yeah,
parks, we always end
yeah,
up
they're
putting our own
washes,
in.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So I don't know if there's any one in particular. You
I
can
didn't,
flip the page over.
I didn't see any significant increases.
We've been all through this.
The red is what I put in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just left the black.
And these are the numbers we went through with Todd.
Yeah,
Yeah. all right.
yeah, the big hit there was in, right here. Item
Academy
1A.
is a big hit.
Oh, no, that was a reduction, my mistake, going down.
Yeah, was it this one?
No, this one here went
Oh,
down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the macadam down there at 470,000, that's all chips and stuff, so that's state money, again, it's a wash. What's here is also in the revenue line, so that's a wash. So, you know,
Could we, I don't know, like the culvert pipes and stuff like that, that's infrastructure and that says, would potentially be with ARPA? We, like the culvert pipes, the drainage issues?
Todd, you'll have to get up to the microphone if you're gonna talk.
They're talking to each other. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that is something that maybe could be covered, but we hadn't discussed it in our ARPA meeting, like it hadn't been approved as one of the things.
No,
we
I
said,
know,
so-
I'm just saying, we were talking about some of the drainage issues
Yeah.
that potentially, I'm just trying to find ways.
That we could maybe use ARPA money for culvert pipes.
You know, just find, you know, because that's drainage.
Yeah. That'd be perfect.
You know, I'm just trying to find creative way, you know, I mean, it's drainage, you know, it's infrastructure to the point where it is,
Some of this stuff, even if it qualifies as infrastructure, it's gonna be considerably down the road before we realize it, correct?
I'm sorry, what's that?
If we qualify for some of this stuff, infrastructure in the ARP thing.
Well, the ARPA, we can use, it,
But it's down the road a ways. I mean, we're not gonna realize all that next year.
no, we can plan, we can take out of, we can.
get it right
we
away.
can- We can do
We
it
have
right
the
away
money.
with, if it's infrastructure towards, like, just in this particular case, drainage, you know, we could use some of that to
When you say
offset.
right away, because
Because
Yeah.
we
this
got
is
half
stuff
the,
he'll
We got
need.
half the money.
we got half the money already,
Yeah.
so we can say,
Okay.
let's spend that in this.
All right,
As long as it qualifies to the requirements that you gotta
Yeah.
meet.
Water infrastructure tends to.
Water and drainage issues
Yeah.
were specifically spelled out. That's one of the few things that were
And
clearly
they're
spelled out.
widening that definition.
so we're talking, what? It went
Put a
up,
question mark.
Do you wanna take it out, or
$2,000.
do you wanna leave it in, 7,000?
it only went up $2,000 since last budget, so why is anybody questioning that?
Because
Well, we're trying to find
$400,000.
$400,000.
That's general, not highway. I did good with that.
No, we're trying to find 400,000 everywhere.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and I agree,
I've helped you before.
but we do have some major drainage problems in this town.
So is it 7,000 in or out?
Well, if we could use it for ARPA, let's use it for ARPA.
So we take it out.
But then wouldn't you need also stone with the drainage pipes? So can we take some of the stones?
It's true. The question is, what is the percentage that would be used for doing road repair out of that, or, and, for the drainage?
Well, some of that, on that line item with that stone, we also use that where we can on the dirt roads where it's real soft and everything. That's where we use some of that money from, with that stone, to use the bigger stone before we put gravel on top to get rid of that mud. That's mostly springtime, when the dirt roads turn to mush.
But I don't think that's not drainage issue.
No.
I mean, that's not, if that goes to roads. But is there a certain percentage of that would you feel?
When you're doing culverts, how much stone do you use?
Depends, right?
Quite a bit, because we bed it with stone, fill the pipe up almost to the top with the stone.
On either side, you're right around it.
I was thinking half, but I mean, you tell me. I mean,
Drop it to 7.
what I'm saying, out of the 8,000, how much do you think would be used for drainage?
Well, if we're gonna be putting all this culvert pipe in with this ARPA and stuff, we're probably gonna use quite a bit of that.
So even
I mean,
half?
those roads that we're doing next year, we're gonna be doing all those culvert pipes on that, and then some, the drainage and squash pipes and everything else. So, half to 3/4 of that, we'd probably be using.
6,000? Take out, leave 2,000?
So that would leave you 2,000 for the dirt road thing.
That's gonna be cutting it close.
All right, so then why don't we say 4?
Split it in half.
You
I was
comfortable
sure
with
that.
that?
If we're gonna-
Yeah, I mean, if this ARPA money, we can use this and stuff, and there's no delays.
Yeah, we got it.
We already have it.
Okay.
Physically, we have the money.
Okay.
We just gotta do the paperwork to justify it.
Yeah.
So that, anywhere you're using the stone for culverts or you're putting culverts in, make sure we have good paperwork on it so that we know when we're filing the applications for the ARPA money, we have it all documented.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, the 470,000 is just CHIPS money and all, so that's in and out. Remember how we made it work out? And the rest of that stuff is all peanuts down the bottom. And the same thing on page 20 on the top. And we scoot right down to machinery, item 3 on page 20, 7,000. Tools and stuff, and small equipment stuff, lawnmower brakes, whatever.
Yeah, you can't do much with that.
The big one is the next one. On page 20, let's see, that's item 3. Item 3, I didn't change anything.
Can I ask a question? Help explain something?
You gotta get up
Come to the microphone.
and tell us who you are.
I'm gonna try to hold it and talk. So page 18, the D code 5110.132. That is feeding 27 weeks a year. Okay?
Yep.
And then flip to page 9, the A code, 7110.160, that's feeding 30 weeks a year. Isn't that
That's 57 weeks, right? Is that what you're saying?
right?
Oh, the
So why
math is
is,
off. That
that
was the
right?
numbers I was given, so
Oh, that is right, though.
that's right.
So we're over by 5 weeks somewhere.
yep,
Good catch. So the question is, which comes off on which side, on the A code or the D code?
I'm just trying to see here. See,
Good question.
normally it's 39 weeks for the first pay. For item one, that's the summer work. It's normally 39. Just look on page 17, you see all the numbers there. The 39. And this one is
There you go.
27. So this one's fewer weeks, so we could go back to page 8 or whatever it was,
9, yeah.
or 9.
All right, so we're cutting back on,
So
So that's 40 there.
it's this one
Yeah, right
at
there.
30 weeks, and the other one at 27 weeks gets us 57. So
Yeah.
if we cut this one to 25 or cut 2 from, however we want to do it.
Yeah, I just said the normal winter number is 39.
Yeah.
That was all. That's what everybody else is working.
so is that what we're saying, we're going down 25 on seasonal? On
So
the,
are we increasing the winter to 29 and then taking the other two off of
He's saying 39 on winter.
39?
That's what the regular highway guys are getting. If you look at the page 17,
So then we're adding 12 weeks to this,
Well, right.
and then you're only left with 13 weeks on the other.
or you split the difference, make 1, 2, and 1, 3. Something
Normally,
like
it's
that.
April 1st to November 1st
Yeah.
for rec for the summer, and then November 1st to March 31st
Right.
for the winter, for
Right,
that position.
right.
I didn't count the weeks, so. You know, there's so much you can do. So,
you wanna figure out the, all right, what's the,
So
what's the dates there, Carol? I'm
The
sorry.
highway portion would be November 1st
right,
to March 31st.
yeah, it's shown right there on page 18.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Good memory, though.
Yes, very good, thank you.
Here, get my calendar. This is for next year.
And that still comes out to like 27 weeks, quick math, but I didn't look at a calendar.
I have 22 weeks about, looking at the calendar. So if we did 30 weeks on, because that was the winter one we just said,
Yes.
that would be 22 weeks, and if we did 30 weeks on the summer, that would give us 52.
So, winter is 32?
22.
22. That's on page 18.
The other one
30 in summer,
is
okay.
30 on summer. Oh, it is 30 already.
Yeah, that gets us the 5 we were over.
No, yeah,
So there we go.
I thought we were changing something that's,
All right, so that's gonna change, let's see here, get our plus.
no, wait, oh, yeah, 22, yeah, it takes 5 away, so 5 is solved. Okay,
18,
What does that save us?
oh,
I'm just-
peanuts,
times.
maybe $1,000 at
Well, it
most.
might be 3.
No, yeah, it's, yeah, because I get 13,464, is that what you?
Yeah, that's what I got.
What is it?
13,464 for the winter. So that
Oh.
saves $3,000.
Oh, okay.
Keeping a running tab here. We got 7, we did 7, let me get the back sheet here.
I'm gonna put all these
7
numbers in.
and 4, that's 11.
Yeah. 18 or something.
Okay. So we were back at, oh, okay, we were on page 20. Under machinery, item 3. You know, the whole premise was to buy new trucks so we didn't have to pay maintenance costs.
3,060.
How did we do on these this year, do we know?
Yeah, let me look here. I gotta find the right document. I got them all here. This is as bad as my office trying to find them all. Here you go. Yep,
Thank you.
so supervisor's report.
130, yeah. I'll go to the back.
You're reducing that total by what,
I'd watch to read
4,000?
the actual.
27,
That's total.
55, 27, 90.
Page 20, because we're
So,
gonna do fourth.
That's
so
11,000
far
less.
this year, we haven't spent that much.
11,000
Well,
less.
he may have trucks in there.
Yeah, yeah.
We're splitting the 8,000 in half, and then we're taking the whole 7,000 out.
About
On the
27.
COVID, all right, 11.
So Todd, year to date, the one that's major repair is 90,000. Year to date so far this year, we spent about 28,000 there. I know you have trucks being fixed right now.
Waiting to be fixed.
Okay. Just wanted to see, I mean, if we're only at 28 now, that means we've only used a third of that, so is it worth it
Yeah,
putting?
but that's going to be on this year's budget, right? So what are you anticipating for next year? You're still anticipating that much money?
I don't know, because of these trucks now, I mean, we got 5 old trucks still. So we're just trying to get parts now for the 5 that we have in the shop that we're trying to redo now, but I don't know what's gonna happen next year. I mean, the 2 new trucks we have that extended warranty on them, but those other trucks, where the warranty coming out this year, that's 2 of them that we purchased, 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
How many trucks do you have in service that are not the new ones? How many? Not the pickups that we just bought, but highway trucks, you know.
We got 6,
6?
yeah,
All right.
7, 8, yes. New ones, yeah.
Some of them,
And it's the same thing for that line above it, the 55,000. We've only spent 28,000 this year on that, too. Okay, I just want to make sure. And do you anticipate the same for next year?
That's why I kept it the same.
Yeah.
Across the board, just to hopefully it holds without the prices going up. Because now, everything's going up, 20, 30, 40%.
Yeah.
That's if you can get it.
Yeah. All right.
Those 2 items I wouldn't touch, to be honest with you. Some of the other ones we can play with, but those 2 items I would not touch, because you never know, you're rolling the dice when you roll the chalk, like I said. We still have 5 little trucks to fleet right now.
Well, we're looking for any help, so let us know what numbers we can play with.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is just the winter labors. It's 13 weeks there, 21 weeks. Those are, you know, basically union rates, so can't do much with that.
no.
And, next thing you get to is on page 23, no, 22.
22.
Right in the middle, salt, sand, liquid, snow blades.
And the bulk's going up next year, $15, $20 a ton. Yes, that salt shed is full, but if we have a bad winter, that's gonna get filled, and at the end of the year, we use that money right up. You can see what I got here today. We use that right up to fill that shed right back up. As far as sand, sand shed salt, I do have some stockpiled outside, and Texas only guarantees another 200 tons. They do not know if they're making any more sand. So from now until the end of the year, until we switch over to next year, once we do the bid process for highway materials, I don't know who's gonna get bid for sand now. I don't know the prices because Tappan was their main supplier. Anybody else was graduating, and they were more expensive than Tappan for the sand that we're using now.
So-
It's all stayed the same, 165, and if it comes down to what, 18,000 if that, or less. And this year wasn't that bad for winter.
Well, we don't know what's coming, because that's still included in that number. Yes. Salt, we used 165, well, no, we used 146,000 until you give us more bills, but we- within, we're within 20,000 of it. And 20,000 is what, about two pickup, or two trailer loads?
That's salt?
Salt,
And this shed is full, though.
yep.
All right.
And sand, we used 23,000 right now, and we had 60 in it. So, don't know about sand. So we got room in sand, but you don't know. Calcium is peanuts, and snowplow blades, you didn't change this year, because you bought them all this year, right? So you don't need any, so we could take the 3,500 out?
We only got certain blades, we did not get all the blades that we needed.
Oh.
Because they were out and the price of steel's going up 40 to 60%.
Yeah, that was,
Okay, I just didn't want to miss it, that was all.
We only got half the blades that I ordered to try to use that up for next year's.
Well, then we only plow half a road.
so the sand.
The middle
what-
half.
Todd, what was the sand, how much did you use so far this year on sand? You said
Here.
it was
23,000.
23,000?
Yeah,
I think that's what's left, right?
That's what you used.
used.
Out of 60.
This is as of the September invoices.
So have you bought sand since then? Or, yeah, sand.
We did, I only have 200 more ton coming in, that's it, then we're done, I can't get any more sand out of that. That's what I'm saying, hopefully I'm trying to stockpile it now, because I don't know what's gonna happen, because we put the bids out in December. I don't know who's gonna bid on it, because Pat doesn't know if they're gonna start making it again. If not, then what are we getting it from Albany or Connecticut or out in western New York somewhere? Because nobody, Lockwood doesn't have sand anymore, Red Wing, 82, all those prices are gonna go up.
What about the county bid on sand? Do they have any bids yet on sand?
I don't know, I'm not sure. They're running salt with,
Beet juice?
yes, they're coming in, it's called a pug mill. They're spraying it. They're
Yeah.
With the salt, it's like a mixer, and then putting it back in and not using much sand at all this year.
Yeah, well, their philosophy all last year was no sand because they didn't want to have to go out and sweep the roads, but they didn't care if the people couldn't get up the hills. That was beside the point. So it was always a great battle about sand and salt. And, you heard the numbers, it's hard to tell what to do. It's not easy. And the next set is all the medical stuff, trying to keep track of who's married, not married, and who's left and who's coming back and all that stuff. So that's why I put all their names down. But that went up too.
Well, everybody's,
That I know, unfortunately.
it's all going up.
Yeah,
Health is always going up.
so,
Maybe it's the health and I was looking at.
so that, that's dental, vision, and MVP all combined. We still gotta pay for the trucks, the 500,000 or whatever we paid, so we still got that in there, the budget. And, I don't know, any feel for other employee benefits, 9089.8, where they buy back sick, comp, and vacation times? I have 5,000 in there. That's sometimes it's used, sometimes it's not. It's strictly at the whim of the employee. We've had it as high as 20,000.
I know a couple of the guys are pretty high on account on it. I know they're gonna use it or lose it, so they're gonna start cashing that in.
Yeah.
If you want to max out, I think with the contract is 80 hours. 80 hours. And I know one's got 20, another one's got 30-something hours right there. So if they use it, they use it. But I don't know if they're gonna use it or if they're gonna try cashing it out before the end of the year. I'm not sure.
Board should have Todd at the mic.
Yeah, Todd, you should be able to make
People are missing half of this.
half of it. Thank you.
Yeah, as far as the buyout with the time and stuff, I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, there's guys that still have time on the books. They got to use it by the end of the year, and the contract says they got to use it in the physical year at which they earned it. So I know one's, like I said, one's got 20, and I know another one has 30-something hours in there.
So it's 50 times roughly $25 an hour, just quick math. That's
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
But that's this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
same next year.
Well, same next year, because there's two of them that max it out every year, and then they use it to fill in time.
Yeah.
And then that pretty much ends the expense side. The revenue side is very exciting. It's real property tax number, but that just gets calculated by math. We still have the Dutchess County snow plowing thing. Pendants of interest. And paved New York, same as last year roughly, and chips restricted and extreme winter recovery. Those three make up the 470-some thousand for the roads that we're doing, because that's what they qualify as. And that's it. The other part is the unexpended balance, you know,
Yeah.
pick a number. So, you know, we probably picked up, I'm guessing,
Oh, sorry.
20,000, I'm just
Yeah.
making a rough estimate.
That's about what it is.
So just 99 bottles on the wall, let's count them.
I just hope and pray you guys don't cut the highway budget anymore. I mean, I played with numbers, tried crunching them, tried to stay as close as possible. I mean, my numbers compared to the general funds did not go up at all. I mean, I'm willing to work with the town board
Yeah,
on taxes and stuff like that, but some of this stuff, I really don't want to see cut or taken away from us.
We're
I
only
mean, it's just
talking
gonna hurt
about
us
those
one way or the
2 or
other.
3 things so far.
Yeah, and out of that, we weren't really taking anything away, it was just using the ARPA funds instead of out of the general, the highway fund.
Yeah,
Yeah, we weren't cutting those. We were just figuring out other
Yeah,
funds.
I know, but I'm just saying you guys gotta make up money somewhere, some way. And that's why I said, working with you and Ray and stuff and Dean and stuff with the budget this year, I was crunching numbers and I was trying to save every which way possible. And then the money I had this year, I'm trying to surplus and stock up on stuff because like I said, after the first of the year, everything's going up 40, 60% or better, and I'm
if
just,
you can get it.
if we can get it. 5 trucks in the shop and we only have half the parts for it and we're waiting for parts for the other half. And like I said, salt's going up $15 to $20. Sand, we only have 200 ton left to come in. Then after that, basically, we're gonna have to go fishing. I don't know what's gonna happen with this, the bid process for materials and stuff this year. I mean, I have a funny feeling everything's gonna go through the roof. I mean, with times the way it is right now, and I'll try to stay within the means of my budget and under. It's just, we might have to cut some projects out or try to work within different parameters, try to make things work.
You can't cut chip stuff because that's automatic payment, so,
That's right.
Yeah, no reason to cut that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing that may happen, and I'm just guessing, but I don't know next year, the county may say, hey, can you do another 4 miles or 7 miles? And then we renegotiate the number and it becomes bigger and you just add it in once you do that. But
Yeah.
right now, we just keep the same number, so.
But that kind of discussion Todd's going to be involved in, true.
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah,
I just want to make sure.
yeah. He was involved when we started the whole program.
Right. It's obvious to me that you went line by line and did a very credible job, so,
And I called all the vendors that we're dealing with, you know, and now I'm going outside the box. I'm dealing with vendors that we haven't even used before, or old vendors that we haven't even used in several, 10, 15 years, trying to get these parts and everything else, and then try to make the numbers work. So,
Yep.
hopefully, you know,
Here, we gotta get rid of the guy, he died.
all right, thank you.
thank you.
That's it. So think it over and figure out how we move ahead. Bring pizza and sodas and beer and stuff for the meeting on Friday. It'll be until we're done, because that sets a plateau for the public hearing. Now, that's gonna be a rough meeting for me to crank all the stuff here, as we try to get all the numbers put in, because I get them Friday night, and I gotta have it done by almost Monday morning,
Right.
and it's gonna be a challenge.
So the first part though, taking the 100,000, that's coming, we're gonna use that money?
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah.
everyone's agreed on?
yeah, we can do that.
Well, I don't know, I'm just saying,
So that leaves us with 500,000 to do the
Yeah.
first few months of the year.
yeah,
I also, that's what I was gonna say earlier. I had a conversation with Kathy McMahon, because in the past, you were getting tax, or as people made tax payments, you were getting them maybe closer to the end of the tax payment period. She's gonna make payments to you every week to make sure, so that at least you have more money coming in
Yeah,
throughout those
yeah,
3
yeah,
months.
Yeah, but,
I know it doesn't do it all, but it gets you.
well, unfortunately, there's no guarantee as to when it comes in.
Sure.
We've had it where people didn't really pay until the last
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. But I know there were times when you know, they'd have money for a month, and then you'd get it at the end of the
Yeah.
month, and now you can get it throughout at least.
Yeah. Which is good,
Yeah.
but there are times where it just didn't come in. So, is that, any more highway comments, discussions? Yep. Okay, you ready to close? Yep. Okay. Just to remind the public, 6:30 Friday night, the general fund budget, and try to do our best to bring the numbers to zero for tax increases. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.